Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. In this video today, we're going to go over how to set up a Youth Squad Legends career mode in FIFA 20. This style of career mode, a Youth Edition Youth Series, was made famous by Cutsy Gaming, and I'm going to leave a link to his channel down in the description below. Also, there's a really great YouTuber named Sparring DK that does a really good youth series every year in FIFA, and I've been following him for several years, and it's just outstanding. So I'll leave a description for both Cutsy and Sparring DK in the description below. So today I wanted to talk to you about doing the setup for a youth series, youth edition, youth squad legends, whatever you want to call it. It's a really great way to play FIFA if you're bored of the career modes and the big teams. This is just a really great and original way to play the game, to kind of breathe some new life into it. For those that are out there that are bored with the regular career modes and online stuff, this is just something to really reignite the passion that you once had for FIFA. At least that's what it did with me. So let's get on with the video. So the concept of a youth series and the goal of the Youth Squad Legends Youth Edition style of career mode is you're going to replace a lower tier team's real squad with all youth scouted players and computer regens, and you're going to take them on sort of a road to glory style journey, climbing through their division ranks and eventually competing in the Champions League as one of the greatest teams in the world. So you're going to do that with only youth players, and you're just going to take these youth players on the journey and get to know them and really have some fun with it. So without further ado, let's get into how you start this. All right, step one, create a manager. I mean, with any career mode in FIFA, you got to create your manager. So just go ahead and pick your manager, shape them how you want. You get to pick a name for them. You get to change their outfit. You get to change how they look. You get to change really everything about them. Put on whatever you want them to wear, pick a name for them. And then once you've done that, we'll move on to step two, where you actually pick your team. All right, team selection is pretty important here in a Youth Squad Legends type of career mode in FIFA. There are really two main countries that you want to look at. England, where you can go to the bottom tier, which is the EFL League 2, and you can pick one of these teams. Or you can go over to Germany, and you can go to the Bundesliga 3, which is the third tier Bundesliga team, and you can pick one of these teams. And basically you're going to take one of these teams and you're going to revamp them with youth players, rise them through the third tier to the second tier to the first tier, and then eventually win the Champions League. So Germany and England are really the two best countries to use because their football system has three significant tiers. You can use France, Italy, Spain, because they do have second tier teams, but I like as much depth as possible. So I use England a lot with the EFL League 2. I've also used the Bundesliga with the third tier there. So for this example, we are going to use a EFL League 2 team for this Youth Squad Legends style of career mode. Now, in picking your team, it's really important to have a team with a starting budget that's decent. You also want to balance that out with board expectations that aren't too high. So, for example, Bradford City, their domestic success is a critical expectation. Although they do have a high transfer budget, once you start this career mode, they're going to insist that you win the league probably. And with the Youth Squad series in that first season or two, probably not going to win the league. So keep that in mind. You don't want to get fired, because if you get fired, then you're done and all the hard work is gone. So we kind of have to balance that out here. So what I would suggest when you're looking for a team is to go through the teams in the EFL League 2, and you're going to find the teams with the highest transfer budget. Now, there are probably 6 teams in the EFL League 2 that I would consider for this style of career mode. The first is Bradford City. Their transfer budget is 1.690. The next is Mansfield Town. Their transfer budget at 1.695 million. The next is Salford City, 1.695 million as well. Then Plymouth Argyle, 1.661 million. Scunthorpe United has a good transfer budget at 1.508 million. And then Forest Green Rovers at 1.486 million. Now, right off the bat, teams like Plymouth Argyle and Bradford City, I'm going to rule out because their domestic success expectation is critical. That means if you start this career mode, they're going to want you to win the league title. And honestly, in a Youth Squad Legends series, that first season, you're probably not going to do that. So I'm going to eliminate those two right off the bat. Now I'm going to take a hard look at Salford City because their objectives are very low and their domestic success, it's a high expectation, but certainly I don't think they're going to want you to win the league. And with all the other expectations being low, there's a very good chance you're not going to get fired from this team. The other team that I would consider is Mansfield Town. Again, very high transfer budget at 1.695 million. Their expectation is high for domestic success, but all the other ones are very low. So pretty good chance you're not going to get fired from this team, and they're not going to expect you to win the league title in your first season. So once you have your team selected and you've discovered the team that you want to use for your Youth Squad Legends series, go ahead and choose that team, and let's get into the next step. All right, the next step is choosing your options, match difficulty, half length, your currency, what stadium you want, all that kind of stuff. Pick your options. I would enable European competitions, enable the transfer window. Your half length depends on what you want to do. Match difficulty, again, it's whatever you want. The stadiums for the EFL League 2 teams are not really in there, so if you feel like going through and renaming them all and customizing that, have at it. I'm just going to choose whatever the default stadium is. And once you've gotten your options squared away, let's move on to the next step. All right, here we are. Step number 3, pick your preseason tournament. We do not want to decline this because this is going to be our initial source of funds. And we are going to need all the money that we can to hire good scouts and get good players into our team. So let's go ahead and advance to the invites. All right, here's our 3 options. The first thing you want to look at is the difficulty. We got a 2-star, we got a 1.5 star, and a 2-star. Now let's look at the money difference. The 1.5 star is going to be the easiest tournament. It still gives us a really good payout at 1.640 million. That's if we win the tournament. So let's go ahead and pick this one. All right, here we are. We have created our manager. We've picked our team. We've picked our preseason tournament. Now we're into the regular menu of a career mode. So step number 3.5, we're going to look at the board objectives. All right, youth development. Grow 1 youth academy player by at least 5 overall points. As soon as they've grown, play them in 5 matches. That's easy. We're going to complete the youth development, and whatever team you've picked, the youth development, you're probably going to make these objectives with no problem. Brand exposure, I don't know. It seems like every career mode I make this objective, so I don't ever worry about this. There's usually not a continental success objective for the EFL League 2 teams. Now, domestic success, here's where you want to pay attention. For the team at Mansfield Town, they want you to gain automatic promotion. That's really going to be difficult. Probably not going to happen in our first season. But that's okay because it's high expectation. It's not critical. So as long as we hit most of our other objectives, I think we're going to be okay and not get fired. The next domestic success objective is the Emirates FA Cup, reaching the round of 32. That's very, very doable in this series. Financial, there's no obligation. So basically, we're going to hit our youth development objective. We're going to hit our brand exposure objective. We're going to make it to the round of 32 in the FA Cup. The only objective we're probably not going to make is to gain automatic promotion, and I highly doubt that you'll get fired if you just missed that one objective. All right, moving on to step number 4. You have to go into your squad and look at all of the real players on your team, and once you're in the squad hub, you are going to transfer list every single player that's on the team. Now, if you run into a player that's on loan at another team or that's on loan at your club from another team, leave them alone. You don't want to recall their loan. You don't want to terminate their loan because that will cost you cash, and you don't want to spend any cash that you don't absolutely have to spend right here at the beginning. So leave the players on loan alone. Okay, once you have transfer listed all of the real players that you can in your squad hub, we are ready for step number 5. Step number 5 is coming to the office tab, going down to youth staff, and we are going to hire the best 3 scouts that we can afford. All right, so here we are on the scouts page, and as you can see, we have a 1-star, 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 1-star. We have a 4-star, 5-star, which we can't afford. Then we have a 3-star, 3-star, and a 2-star, 2-star. We're going to take the 3-star, 3-star scout to begin with. It's only $282,000 off our transfer budget. Now we can afford a better scout. We can probably afford a 4-star, 4-star scout, or maybe you want to look for one that's a 3-star, 4-star, or a 2-star, 4-star. But right now the options that we're given, we're going to take Kirsten Olston, a 3-star, 3-star scout. All right, on to scout number 2. And it looks here we have a 2-star, 4-star scout. Now this is $1.5 million off the transfer budget. I think it's well worth it. So we're going to hire this scout to come in from Croatia, Andres Gabrick. All right, time for the 3rd scout. As we go into the screen here, the best scout right now that we can afford is Joshua Bruin from the Netherlands. He's a 2-star, 3-star scout. Now, ultimately, you want a better scout than this. You want a 3-star, 3-star, but this is what we have to work with. And we can upgrade these scouts later. I'll go over that. And the little rule that I apply there is that you can upgrade one scout one time per season. Based on how much money you make selling off your player. So let's go ahead and hire this scout in, and then we'll have all 3 scouts hired. Okay, on to step number 6. Now that you've gotten your scouts hired, you're going to go over to the transfers tab and go up to search players, because what we're going to do is we're going to search the free agents for any computer generated players. Okay, in the search tab, you're going to come over to transfer status. You're going to click that onto free agents, and then you're going to go down to the age category, and you're going to do 16 to 23. So we're going to search free agents from 16 years old to 23 years old, and let's see what that brings us back. Okay, as you can see here, we got free agents now from age 16 to 23. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to go down this list, and any player that is a computer generated player like we have here in Devindra Bandari, you're going to click on that player, you're going to scout that player, and then you're going to shortlist in your transfer hub. And that's it. You're going to go down this list, and every player that you see that is a computer generated player, you're going to shortlist and scout. For example, Clayton Lewis, he's a real player. You can tell from his picture. We're going to move on. Now, Daniel Namov, he doesn't have a face. We don't do no-face players. If you want to scout and have no-face players in your team, that's fine. That's up to you. My rule is no-face players. We'll just skip right on by them. Okay, once you have searched for the 16 to 23-year-olds, something you can do just to make this series a little bit more fun is you can then search from the 23 to 50-year-olds. Searching the free agents from 23 to 50 is going to bring you every other free agent that's in the game. And what I'm looking for, I'm going to suspend the rules for a minute. What I'm looking for are players with any funny names or players in offensive positions that are abnormally tall. For example, a 6'6" striker. I would bring that player into the team just to have something fun. Or if there's a name that you see I have had very funny names come up in here. I'm not seeing many now, but that would be a way you could bend the rules a little bit, have somebody fun, even if it's a no-face player or a real player. You could bring that person in just to have some fun and add some spice into this career mode. All right, so the funniest name that I saw on this list was Georgie. I mean, that's kind of funny. He's a 6'2" goalkeeper. He's no face player, but we're going to break the rules for Georgie. I think it'd be kind of fun to have a goalkeeper named Georgie, at least for the first season. So we're going to go ahead and scout him, put him in the transfer hub. I didn't notice any player here that was abnormally tall in an offensive position. So we're going to go ahead and move on to step number 7. Step number 7, redeem your Scout Future Star. If you don't know what that is, if you look up at the top right-hand corner of the screen, there is a little bar when you're connected online. And for Xbox, it's the right trigger you push down. I don't know what it is for PlayStation or PC, but anyway, you access the catalog of things with all the little coins you've been earning. And in the catalog, you can scroll down and you should have what's called a Scout Future Star. There's one. Scout Future Star means a scout will be sent to identify a future star and will report back in a few weeks, the next time you enter career mode. And it can only be redeemed once per season. So basically, you have to redeem this Scout Future Star. And when the end of the month comes, there's going to be a scouting report on one player, and that one player is usually a very high quality, high potential player, and it's the player that you're going to base your team around and base the series around, be the captain of your team, and so on and so forth. So go ahead and redeem the Scout Future Star. Now, if you don't have a Scout Future Star, that's okay too. What you're going to do is when the scouts come back the first of the new month and they bring back their youth players that they've scouted, you're going to pick the best player in that bunch. You need a player that's got a high potential and overall one of the best players that comes back. Now, if you don't have a good player in the first month of scouting reports, then you wait till the second month of scouting reports. And normally in the first couple scouting reports, you're going to have at least one player that has a potential that's like 71 to 94. And that's the player that you're going to name your Scout Future Star. So you can have a Scout Future Star even though you don't have a Scout Future Star to redeem. You just have to choose a Scout Future Star. Okay, step number 8. It's the last step in the first part of creating this Youth Squad Legends. You're going to send out your scouts, and here's the rules for that. Take your best scout. In our instance, it is Andrik Gabrick. He's a 2-star, 4-star scout. He's going to be our best scout, bringing back the best players. And you're going to send that scout to the home country of whatever league you're in. So, for example, I'm going to send him to England. I'm going to scout for 3 months, and I'm looking for any type of player. The other 2 scouts, because we're trying to save some money, we're going to send them to countries that don't cost a lot of money to scout. So for example, we'll send this scout out, and we're going to send this scout to Asia. And it doesn't matter, Japan, Korea, China, Saudi Arabia, they all cost $16,000 to scout for 3 months, which is really cheap. So we'll send the scout to Japan for 3 months, and again, you're looking for any player. The last scout we're going to want to send to the next cheapest country, which is Australia, New Zealand. So we're going to send this scout to Australia. It's $15,000 for 3 months. And here, instead of looking for any player, we're actually going to change it up and we're going to look for physically strong players. You're going to want to start bringing back some really big, strong players that can really hold it down. So physically strong players for this last scout for 3 months in Australia. All right, so your scouts are sent out and you are ready to begin your Youth Squad Legends series. Now, the first step in this stage is you have to sim through every single day for the first 30 days. You're going to sim through your preseason matches and you're going to start selling off your real players, accepting the offers for them, and generating that cash. So in this first 30-day period, a few things are going to be happening. First off, you don't want to sim through the 30-day chunk as a whole. you want to use this advanced tab and you want to go day by day by day. The reason is you don't want to miss the transfer offers that are going to come in for your real players. So in this first 30 days, like I said, a few things are going to be happening. The first thing is you're going to start selling off your real players. You're going to accept all of the offers that are fair and close to that player's value. And it's okay to delegate to try and get a little bit more money, because after all, we are trying to get the most amount of cash. And the second thing is you're going to sim through every day and every match. So the only thing that's happening in this month are the preseason matches. You're going to sim through all of those. The third thing is at the end of the 30 days, you're going to get back a scouting report from the scouts that you sent out. Also, very important, about this, between days 6 and 12, you're going to get back the scouting reports from the free agents. So let's go ahead, I'll show you a little bit of that. All right, so we've advanced, got our first match. You just want to sim through these matches. Doesn't matter if you win or lose, you're just trying to generate some cash from the tournament and just move on and keep simming. All right, only a couple days later, I'm starting to get transfer offers in for our real players. We got a transfer offer in for Rose. When you go in here and you just want to sell him, you can see his value is $625,000. They're offering $670,000. We're going to accept this offer, and hopefully that deal goes through and we start bringing in a lot more cash. So you're going to do this for every offer that you get in this first 30 days. All right, on day 6 or 7, you're going to get all of these scouting reports on all the free agents. So what you want to do is you're going to want to go to your short list, or just click on one of these little email things, and it's going to take you to the shortlist hub, where you can see all of the free agents and what their overall ratings are. So as you can see, we got some okay players in here. You know, a left midfielder, a left back, a right back. We got some defense, some offense, and of course we got Georgie, the goalkeeper. He's 62 overall rated. So what you're going to want to do, you are not going to sign these players in. You're just going to let them sit there until the end of the transfer window, and then you're going to plug in holes as you need to. You're going to use these free agents as fillers. Unless there's a funny or good player that you want to have, of course, sign him in. So what we're going to do, there's Georgie. We like Georgie. He's pretty funny. We're going to go ahead and offer Georgie a contract because, well, he's kind of funny, and we do want him on the team. Okay, it is the end of the first 30 days. We have played through the preseason tournament. We got to the finals, but we lost. So we generated around $930,000 in cash from our advancement through the tournament, which is great. That goes in the bank. We also sold, I don't know, between 6 and 10 players. I can't remember the exact number, but that generated some cash. Now the first 30 days are up, and it is the first of the next month, and you have your scouting reports back. If you had a Scout Future Star that you redeemed, you would also have an email here that says you got your Scout Future Star, and you could go ahead and look at that player. We did not redeem a Scout Future Star, so I'll show you what to do if you don't have one. So here's your scouting reports. You're going to go look at each one of them. Joshua Braun in Australia has brought us back 2 players. And what you're going to want to do when you go into these scouting reports is you are going to sign every single player that's over the age of 15 into your youth academy. And then after you've signed all the players in there, you can go into the youth academy and take a look at what you've got. So let's go ahead and sign all of these players up. All right, taking a look at Kirsten Olsen back from Japan. There's one player that's 15, and that is Masayoshi Hiranuma. So you keep them and scout them further, but all the other players sign into your youth academy. All right, and Andrik Gabrick back from England. He's brought us a 15-year-old, and the 16-year-old will sign the 16-year-old in. We'll scout the 15-year-old further. All right, so that's it. This is what we've got in our first 30 days are over. These are the players that we have, and obviously you're likely not going to have enough to have a full starting 11. And if I don't have a full starting 11, I'm going to keep simming for another 30 days. I'm only going to play games once I have a full youth squad. I'm going to sim all the games that involve real players. So if that takes 2 months, if that takes 3 months, whatever it takes, I'm just going to keep doing this process, getting youth scout reports back, putting the youth players in the academy. And once I have enough to create a team, then I'm going to start playing the matches, and that's really when the series is going to start. So you can look down your list of youth squad and try and find a Scout Future Star. Now, there is no one here that has a high enough potential for me where I would consider them a Scout Future Star. The highest potential is 67 to 91 for Max Bell. He is a 6'5" center midfielder. His overall rating is 41, which really kind of sucks, but I would hold off on naming your Scout Future Star because this group of youth is not that good. All right, so we're into the next month. This is when the real games start. You're still in the transfer window. So what we're going to do, because we don't have a full team of youth players, we're just going to keep on simming. And again, you don't want to go into this calendar and sim through to the end of the month because you're going to miss the transfer offers for your real players. What you're going to want to do is come to this advanced tab, and you're just going to advance through the whole transfer window, the whole month, another month, sim through all the games, and see where we are at the end of the month. All right, it's the end of the next 30 days. It's also the end of the transfer window. So no more buying and selling of players can occur at this point. And what you're going to do is you're going to, again, look at the scouting reports that have come back, and let's sign in all of the players over the age of 15 into the Youth Academy, and then we'll go in and see where we are. All right, so we're at the Youth Academy. These are the players that have come in over the past 2 months. Let's take a look at what we've got. See if we can find a Scout Future Star in here. We have some offensive players, a couple defensive players, and let's just go down the list here and see what we have. We have a striker with 66 to 84 potential. We have left back 67 to 87 potential. We have a center mid 65 to 85. We have a center back 68 to 92 potential. Ewan Morgan, 6'6" center midfielder, potential 72 to 94. This is the guy that I would name as my Scout Future Star. 57 overall rated. He can come in right away. You know he's going to be a good player. He's physically strong, 6'6" center mid. That's a Scout Future Star right there. Moving on down the list, left midfielder. We've got a Cam, a right back. None of these players are standing out to be superstars. Got a center mid. Here's a center midfielder, a 70 to 94 potential. Overall is 60 already. So there's going to be a good player for you. 67 to 91 potential for a right winger. We have a goalkeeper here, 6'4", 64 to 90. So we do have a good goalkeeper here. And that's it. That's our list so far. So I'm not sure that there's enough to field a starting 11. But at this point, you want to make that decision. Do you want to sim through another 30 days and get your next scouting reports and then fill in, and then you should have enough for a good starting 11? Or do you want to just go ahead and make your starting 11 out of what you got right here and go ahead and start playing matches? That's a decision that you have to make. The one thing that you want to do when your youth academy is like this, after 2 months, you're going to take every single one of these players and you're going to sign them and promote them into the first team. Before you do that, though, this is a suggestion from me. What I do is I write down the player, I write down their potential, and then under their picture is an attribute. Like, this guy is physically strong. This guy's physically strong. Max Bell here, defensive minded. We got physically strong, physically strong. This guy, Yoshi, is a playmaker. I just jot down what their attribute is because sometimes you'll run into a player. For example, this guy is a right back. He's defensive minded. He's not physically strong. Maybe he could be a wing back. You're going to have some players that are wingers, like this guy, and you're going to want to make sure that you put them in the proper position once you get into the squad and you start really moving your players around. That's just a suggestion that I do. So anyway, sign all of these players into the first team. All right, we're ready for the next step. The next step is really pay attention to your finances. It's the end of the transfer window. You've just sold a lot of your players. How much money did you bring in? In this instance, for us, we brought in about $4.5 million between the money we made from the preseason tournament and the sale of all of our players. So we do have a nice chunk of cash. At the end of the next 30 days, when the scouts come back, they're going to be done their 3-month stint. That's the opportunity that you have to release one of your scouts and maybe upgrade. So maybe take the 2-star, 3-star scout and upgrade them to a 4-star, 4-star, or something a little bit better, because you are going to have the cash to do that. All right, we are ready for the next step. And once you've signed all your players into the first team, you're going to come to your squad and you're going to put all of the youth players in the positions that you want them in. You're going to, what formation do you want? What tactics do you want? What roles and instructions do you want? This is the thing that you're going to tackle next. So make sure you put all your youth in the positions that you want them in. Now I have a full 11. I have a full starting 11 here. On the bench, however, I only have 2 youth players, and that's a center midfielder and a goalkeeper. So at this point, I think I would start playing matches, but that's your call. If you want to go another 30 days and get some more youth in so you have a full reserve and first team of youth players, that's a choice that you have to make. So, but this is how, you know, you're ready to go pretty much right here. So that's really it. You can go to the training tab here and you can train your players if you want to, depending on, you know, their roles and your needs. I like to train all the players and get them up to around 60. Once they get to 60, you can go in the squad hub and you can see what their status is. And there's one player we have right now that's 60 rated, and I'll show you what I mean by the status. So this is Shuzo Hirayama. He's a 60 overall rated. Once they get to 60 overall rated, you can see it says status showing great potential. What that means is that his final potential is going to be between 80 and 84. There are 3 different statuses: showing great potential, an exciting prospect, and has the potential to be special. They all mean different things. Exciting prospect is at 85 to 90 overall potential, and then has the potential to be special means he's a 90 plus potential. So once your players get to 60 overall rated, you can see if they have a status. If they don't have a status, it just means they're not really going to have a high potential. But this guy is somebody that does have a status, and we're going to hold on to him probably for a few seasons, maybe throughout the whole career mode. So that's it. You're just going to play your matches. You're going to rinse and repeat. When the second transfer window comes, keep selling off your real players. You know, bringing in, if you need some free agents to plug some holes, you know, check and see, can you upgrade your scout? If you can upgrade a scout, go ahead and do that. But remember the rule, 1 upgraded scout per season. And then just play through the season, see what happens. As you get more scouting reports in, you're going to get better players. And I mean, honestly, just have fun with it. And that's my final thoughts here. You're going to start to become attached to certain players. Don't overtrain them, because youth players, they'll grow naturally. So you don't want to just overtrain them. And then every season, repeat the steps. Search for the hidden regens of the stars that retire. Check the free agents list. And as your club grows and makes money, you'll be able to buy and trade for regen players from other clubs. So basically that's it. Just take your youth squad here and watch them grow. Keep it going and take them to greatness. See if you can't win the Champions League. So that is how you do a Youth Squad Legends type of series. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try and answer them the best I can. I certainly am not an end-all be-all expert on this. But like I said, in the description below, I'll leave a link to Cutsy's channel and Sparring DK's channel, so you can check them out. They really do an amazing job at this. But anyway, give it a shot. It's just something fun you can do in FIFA 20. And I appreciate you watching. Leave a like on the video, and you know, send me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe too, and hit that bell notification so you're notified of all the content coming out. And thanks a lot for letting me be a part of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.